Okay, so here's the next video on how to use your camera. Now, you can view the image that you're going to photograph either from the back of the camera here by looking at this screen or through the eyepiece. Notice when I put my finger up to the eyepiece, the screen goes black, and that's because there's a little sensor here. It switches between viewing on the screen or viewing in the eyepiece. But the eyepiece can be adjusted for your particular vision with this little wheel to the left of it. And I would do when you first set up the camera is put the camera up to your eye, hold the shutter release down till it focuses on something, and then adjust this little eyepiece until it looks sharp in the viewfinder. So it's going to look like this. So I'm going to put my eye up to the camera. I'm going to hold the shutter halfway down until I focus on something. And then I'm going to rotate that eyepiece until it looks sharp to my vision. And then the eyepiece is all set up so that the image looks bright, looks sharp all the time. I want to show you some of the buttons on the camera. You can see that the back of the camera, the display on the back of the camera changed, looks different. And that's with this little button right here that says display or back. So if I press display, the display changes from this where it shows you information. Press it again, all the information goes away. Well, most of it goes away. So you're just looking at the picture. Press it again, and you get just information. So you have to compose through the eyepiece, and press it again, and it goes back to the standard display. So this display shows you all kinds of information. On the left, it shows if you have brightened or darkened the exposure to make it change from normal. Up at the top, it shows you the Bluetooth is on, how much video time you have to record, how many pictures you can record on the memory card. How many pictures? So 2,601 pictures on the memory card. The L and the F means that it's a large JPEG file with fine quality, which is the highest quality JPEG you can get. And I put it in JPEG mode because I figured you're not going to want to process RAW files. JPEG files are similar to the ones that come out of the phone, and they're ready to go on the internet. You don't have to export them from any software. If you wanted to change the file type, you can change a lot of the settings by just pressing the Q up here. The Q stands for quick, so it's a quick menu. If I press the Q, then all these different things come up, and you can navigate through these different sections by pressing the pressing the buttons on the back of the camera. I'm just going to set it back to 0. Hang on. You can usually reset things by pressing the shutter halfway down, or there's the Q button again. So what I have here, like right now it says noise reduction because this one is selected. A is aperture priority. And if I rotate one of these wheels, it's not that wheel, it's not that wheel, maybe it's this button here. Yeah, oops. Oh, I see. I can't change the A because that's set up on top. But I can change other settings, like here where it says L3 to 2, that's the JPEG file size. And if I take this little wheel, I can change it to small and different dimensions. But if you're going to make JPEGs, I would just leave it on L and fine. Then if we go up one more, it says ISO, auto ISO. That's the sensitivity of the camera. And I just put it on this one because I think it's a good one to use most of the time. It will raise the sensitivity if you go into a dark place, lower the sensitivity if you're in a light place. And that one seems to work well most of the time. White balance is the color of the picture, and I put that on auto for you because that will give you standard color, but you can experiment with that. And then the Fuji camera in particular has these things called film simulations, where it tries to look like other kinds of film back in the film days. And this is where it gets kind of fun, and these are sort of fun. So you can have, Velvia. Well, actually, there's a screen where it shows it to you. I'm going to change to that one. Let's see, here it is. So if I just rotate this left knob on the top, it'll show you the difference in color for these different film simulations. You can also get to black and white this way, or you can do it in the software. If you do it in the camera, it's baked into the file. You can't reverse it. So, you might want to do it later in the software. You've been doing that already and you're used to it. But it's kind of nice to know that that's available right there. And then to lighten and darken the picture on the left side, you just rotate the little knob on the right-hand side. This one's called exposure compensation. And you can see I can make the picture darker or lighter or put it back on 0. Then at the bottom, it shows you your aperture, which we talked about is the lens opening, and then what the ISO is. And then over here, there's a little battery symbol. So, so that's pretty much the, the display. This AM here means that it's set for autofocus. So if I press the button halfway, it beeps and turns green. The rectangle turns green when it focuses. But the M stands for manual focus. So there are 2 rings on the lens. The top one is for adjusting the focus. The bottom one is for adjusting the zoom. And if you autofocus on something, then you can modify it, and this is best done in the viewfinder, by turning the smaller ring to fine-tune it. But generally, I let autofocus do the job, and it does a really good job.